Here's one phenomenon I see amongst the most hardworking, ambitious women. Yes, they're smart. Yes, they are hardworking. Yes, they have got lots of talents. Yes, they are driven, and they still under-earn. It's certainly not because of lack of talent or because they don't have goals big enough or because of lack of commitment. No, it's because they're operating beneath this invisible ceiling that causes them to under-earn, and it's the self-worth ceiling. You see, this is the root cause, an unconscious limit we place upon ourselves as women that causes us to often work so hard, and yet our businesses, our incomes are not matching what we put into it. And I say no more, and you need to say it with me today, because today I'm going to help you to start shattering this self-worth ceiling, because until that shatters, no amount of working harder will break it. So let's do it, shall we? Hi, my powerful one. Lenka Lutonska here, founder of Business Energetics, and I'm going to take you through what is the real root cause of this self-worth ceiling / under-earning ceiling, and what exactly to do to start breaking it so you can bring your business up, earning up, sales revenues up, and all you deserve up. Today, I also have for you a little but important gift that will help you to apply the process I'm going to share with you so much more easily. So grab a cup of something delicious and let's do it. Chapter 1, the hard work myth. Many of us were raised to believe subtly or explicitly that it's the hard work through which we achieve. We were taught things such as don't ask too much, and well, if other people work hard, you work harder. Ultimately, somebody will notice. And don't be dramatic. And don't moan or be a strong girl. And don't make it about money. And if you ask too much, you will be noticed. What will other people talk about you? And so on and so on. So we became exceptional at effort. We became exceptional at working, and proving our worth. We learned to over-prepare, over-deliver, and give so much for far less. You know, give friends rates over here, say yes when I mean no over there, discount my rates before a client even asks. In other words, many of us built entire careers and businesses on the basis of proving ourselves. But here is one truth that we have to remember and let it sink in, and it's this. Income does not raise in proportion to our effort. If it would, all of us would be millionaires and billionaires. Income raises in proportion to perceived value, and that perceived value begins internally, and it's our responsibility to raise it, because this is where that self-worth ceiling lives. Chapter 2, the 2 archetypes running the show. In my work with thousands of powerful leaders and women around the world like you, I often talk about 2 patterns or voices that run the show, that run our businesses and lives. And these are the people pleaser and the sovereign self, or often called the prostitute energetic archetype and the queen. Now, the people pleaser is the aspect of ourselves that seeks the value, that sources the value externally. This is the aspect of us that validates through praise of other people, through numbers, through results. She finds safety in that approval. She confuses being liked for being valued. Her core belief is simple yet extremely powerful, and that is, I'm not enough. I'm not enough yet. I'm not enough. The second voice or pattern, the polar opposite of this polarity of value, is our sovereign self, the queen. That aspect of yourself is standing fully in her value. She trusts her internal compass. She sets boundaries without apologies. She knows who she is. She makes decisions based on alignment, not fear. And her core belief, I'm worthy. I'm enough. I'm worthy because I am. No other conditions needed. Now, both of these archetypes live inside of every woman, including you. And both of them are valid. Both of them are useful. There is no problem with existence of people pleaser or the prostitute within ourselves. In fact, I often call her the assistant of our higher self. The problem is when we let this archetype, the people pleaser, make decisions in our businesses and lives, when we make her price our offerings, create our offerings, sell our offerings, and so forth and so forth. That is what creates that income ceiling, that self-worth ceiling, and therefore income ceiling. Chapter 3, how this self-worth ceiling shows up. Because when that happens, when we let the prostitute, the people pleaser, run the show, this is how it shows up in a business. For instance, you accept lower fees just because it's a good opportunity. Or you avoid negotiating because you don't want to lose this opportunity. Or you take on extra work but without extra payment to show your commitment, to show how good you are. Or you feel resentful but you say yes anyway because you've got to, out of obligation. But really what you mean is, no, I don't want to, because I'm doing it at some cost or compromise. Or the self-worth ceiling can show up as saying no to great opportunity because someone might criticize you. Or simply feeling guilty for charging what you're supposed to charge because your colleagues charge less. One woman working in media I recently worked with was invited to be a headline speaker for a very prestigious event. She said yes, she accepted the fee, and then later on when she saw the ticket prices and the fact that they were using her name to sell the entire event, she realized, oh my goodness, I charged the 1/10 of what I should have charged. I undersold myself. Well, this is one example of how this self-worth ceiling can negatively influence even the most powerful of us. Chapter 4, one working harder makes this even worse. Now, the tendency of our human mind or the people pleaser in ourselves would be, well, if I want to increase my income, therefore I actually need to press on and work harder. So we do. We put more hours in. We respond even faster to clients' inquiries. We take on more responsibilities. We give more bonuses. We give more of our time. We give our maximum. And guess what? Every time we do, we send the signal to the universe within that I have to give my maximum to be worthy. We reinforce the pattern of the people pleaser within us, the energetic archetype of prostitute within us. What's the result of it? You might have experienced this. Exhaustion, resentment, sometimes burnout. I experienced this myself. So I'm deeply passionate about spreading this message and saying it again and again. Working harder fixes nothing. It simply reinforces our outdated, old, limiting patterns. It teaches your nervous system again and again to associate higher income with more effort, more proving, more pushing, more elbowing through the next career and business goals. And you've got to say enough to it. So what you've got to create to break through that ceiling of self-worth is ambition shift, which will recalibrate your nervous system. Yes, many women, including you, are currently overwriting and shifting what does it mean to be ambitious. Because the old model says, push harder, outperform, prove yourself, push, push, push. But the next evolution of women's ambition looks different. It feels more grounded. It feels more peaceful. It feels more aligned. It feels more self-valuing. It feels more strategic. It feels more calm. It feels more you. How to shatter your self-worth ceiling. If you recognize yourself in these words and in these patterns, the solution is not in any bravado or one of breakthrough. No, it's way more subtle. It's about making micro choices from the operating system of your sovereign self rather than your people pleaser archetype. And it begins with awareness. So start noticing, where do I underprice to feel safe? Where do I over-deliver to seek approval and safety and validation? Where do I say yes when I actually mean no? And so forth and so forth. I encourage you to start experimenting with the new micro choices, which creates these micro shifts. So perhaps next time when somebody asks you for another favor and you feel, no, it's not right for me to say yes, but you're used to saying yes, pause, and even though you feel uncomfortable, you say no without apology. Or it may be something else, simply put, small sovereign choices and decisions. It could be changing your rate. It could be asking for that question or asking for that support or declining misaligned request or simply stop apologizing for who you are and for your expertise, voicing your opinion, and so forth and so forth. It's in each of these micro choices that tremendous power lies. Each time you make a new micro choice from the place of an operating system of your sovereign self, where you send the signal to the universe within, this is who I am, where you teach your nervous system that you are safe in your full worth and bigness. This is where you build a brand new neural pathways and reinforce them with each and every subsequent micro decision and each and every subsequent sovereign self micro decision. This is the process of becoming. Choice upon choice upon choice. And these micro choices is what raises your self-worth ceiling and therefore your income ceiling. Because guess what? It's practically impossible for the reality not to adjust to who you're becoming through these micro choices. It will be reflected in the opportunities you attract, in how people respond to you, in what people offer you, in what kinds of clients you attract, and so forth and so forth. So yes, these might be micro choices, but in each micro choice from the position, from the operating system of your sovereign self, there is so much power, because this is how you bit by bit, choice by choice, micro choice by micro choice, decision by decision, you raise that self-worth ceiling, you raise your income ceiling, you shatter it. So do not underestimate the power of even a single choice, okay? And perhaps the biggest pattern that we've got to break and start making new choices is this one. Am I allowed? Because yes, the people pleaser in us is asking, am I allowed to even want this much? To charge this much, to be this much, to have this much support, to have this much money, to be paid this much. And I'm here to tell you, you no longer need to ask for permission, because it's the people pleaser in you that asks for it. Instead, become your own permission. Allow yourself to want more, allow yourself to be more, allow yourself to have as much support as you deserve and as high quality of support as you deserve. Allow yourself to be more, because you are more. And what can happen if you, day by day, not in a bravado way, just in a gentle, choice by choice way, shatter that self-worth ceiling and income ceiling? Well, let me give you just one of so many examples that happen inside of our Business Energetics Academy. Aparna, when she entered Business Energetics Academy and mentorship with me, she was a classic overachiever. Multiple businesses, working very hard, ambitious goals, and lots and lots of work. And therefore, scaling felt hard, and therefore she was exhausted, and therefore she was doubting herself. Do I even have what it takes to scale up? Because, hey, I'm talented, I work hard, I'm committed, so what's happening? Well, through this work, she stopped over-relying on logic and hard work and attended to the most powerful currency on the planet, her energy. And through that, she started to make a whole new decisions from the sovereign self rather than her people pleaser. She raised the rates, she raised her visibility, she started to let go what was no longer fully aligned, and so on and so on. Within 6 months, only one aspect of her business generated over $600,000, which was infinitely more than she ever made before. And that was just the beginning. This is how, for Aparna, the realities started to mirror who she became, a lot more sovereign self. And it's going to happen to you too. Because when you declare again and again through each choice, this is who I am, my sovereign self, the queen of my business and life, reality cannot help but to mirror back to you who you choose to be. You start attracting far more quality clients, far better opportunities. People will respond to you differently. Opportunities will come your way. And all that you deserve and desire will come to you more easily. Yes, making choices from the sovereign self might not be the easiest every time. It will push you to the point of discomfort, but it's very, very worthy. And to help you, I have a little gift for you. Let me show you. A little handout called The People Pleaser and the Sovereign Self, Energetic Archetypes, where I listed a full list of habits, patterns and behaviors that are associated with the people pleaser as well as the sovereign self. So you can print it, use it as a reference day by day and start making choices from your sovereign self, because that is changing absolutely everything. And with that being said, I have one more favor to ask you. Think of a fellow woman, a friend, a colleague, a relative that deserves to earn more, that deserves to value herself more. If you find this video useful, send this video to her as well. Let's help each other to put crowns on our heads and walk higher and become those queens of our businesses and lives, because this is not just how we override the circumstances, results, revenues, and so forth of our own individual businesses. This is how together we make a huge difference in the world, because the world will become more like us, more grounded, more self-assured, more self-led, more valued, more rewarded, more peaceful, more you. And with that being said, I want to say, I really deeply appreciate you. I appreciate you being here. I thank you for working with your energy, with you doing this deep work, because it truly matters. You matter. So much love. Until next time. Bye-bye.